Talal, just to get your views on this, in your view, any new instruments do you think where we can look at other than the traditional? We are always talking about, it's remittances, tourism, the FDIs, how do we bridge the gap, and so on. But is it, if you are to think out of the box, any one or two new instruments that we can look at, which will be sort of looked at positively by the global investors?
Yes, thank you. So one area, if you're going to look outside, I heard somebody mentioning about green finance. So that would be a very positive step to go in because there is great potential. I mean, according to a study, $9.2 trillion a year are needed for the next 30 years till 2050 of investments. That's a lot of money. That's going to be have to be invested every year. So as the years go by and climate, I mean, we saw how the floodings affected Pakistan. There's going to be a lot of pressure on people to start changing. Governments are changing. Governments from the UK and others already have legal binding commitments to net zero. So green finance, that would be a huge potential. I mean, we also have the buy-in from investors. I mean, according to a study, we find that 85% of investors, look at ESG. And also 75% of sovereign wealth funds have ESG policies in them. And this is something that, I mean, Sri Lanka can look into. I mean, look at one area is solar. We have plenty. And wind offshore. According to a recent World Bank report, which shows that from offshore wind alone, we can meet more than our demand. So that means there is potential for exporting. I mean, southern India is one thing, but, electricity as a medium cannot be exported. So there we can do, if we have a renewable, we can even go into green hydrogen. UAE is planning to get 25% of the global hydrogen market, and they're only focusing on blue and green. But if we have excess offshore wind energy, we can go into green, and that's a very lucrative export to have. And the other thing is, of course, one area is, for example, I co-chair the Global Plastic Innovation Network Action Group, the World Economic Forum. So we're focusing on plastic pollution. So recycling is going to be another huge industry, $47 billion by 2026. So these are certain areas where we can focus on. And as I mentioned before, there is interest from the consumers, and it also provides with energy security.
Thank you, Talal. That's really useful.